and welcome to the Gaia update for the new moon in Taurus that is happening on Saturday, May 4th. I'm Elise. So this new moon in Taurus is the first new moon in Taurus since Uranus has moved into Taurus for good. So this new moon is marking a new chapter for the Earth, for our experience here, and for our energetic field. Uranus always brings energy of new and higher vibrational frequency. It was discovered around the time of electricity. So it's got an energy of vibrational reality. Sometimes this is seen as disruptive, and what it does is it breaks down old patterns. Now, this is exactly in alignment with the era that we're in right now. Part of the energy of this is that for this new moon in Taurus, and we're going to be feeling this for the next 6 months, we are feeling Saturn in conjunction with the South Node. It is exact for this new moon and will continue to be influencing us for close to the rest of this year. This is a really potent and powerful energy that is also about disrupting old patterns around control energy and where we've given our power away. And Saturn in conjunction with the South Node is speaking. The South Node of the moon is our past karma, what's holding us back from the past. With Saturn in Capricorn, it's laws and rules and basically programming, belief systems, and karmic contracts. So we're continuing the karmic bloom that is 2019 astrology, but we have to understand that this is an opportunity to break free from these patterns for good. And that's why we've been feeling so much of this energy of all this Capricorn, Saturn at home in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn. Next year in 2020, Jupiter will join these planets in Capricorn, and the South Node of the moon will remain in Capricorn. And so it's about resolving these past patterns, beliefs, and contractual arrangements that are holding us back from these new energies represented by Uranus and Taurus, what we're celebrating for this new moon. So it's like, okay, yeah, there's the new energy, right? It's trying to land. It's trying to come into our life. We're trying to adjust. We're trying to receive the new energies. We're trying to wake up to what's happening in our consciousness in this new era on the earth. And yet it's pulling us back into these past karmic patterns. Now, these patterns with Saturn in play, they feel obstructive and restrictive. Okay, Saturn is the physical reality of this world that is stubborn and not able to change in the way that we would like it to. And this is kind of the energy. It's like first things shift in the energetic field, and then they manifest that change in the physical, right? So first, everything that exists was an idea or an energy. Then it comes into physical form. So we can't just go change the physical form, right? We have to change the energies. Now, the energies have been changing, but we're not yet seeing the physical form change. That's a big part of the energy of Saturn in Capricorn coming up into a very close conjunction with Pluto. So for the month of May, Saturn and Pluto come 2 degrees apart, and this is the beginning. And Saturn conjunct the South Node, it's the beginning of this 2020 astrology, which is a changing of the guard, the changing of our whole conceptual reality about who we are and what we're doing here and why. And so we have to resolve and have these things that are dragging on us from the past come up for review. And that's what the universe is speaking to us about right now. Now, part of the energy of this new moon also has to do with Mercury in square to Saturn. So Mercury just went on that intense, it was like a 2-month journey in and out of this Pisces energy in the second half of Pisces, asking us to have a change, a fundamental change in our conceptual reality to get us out of the past. And so that's what's going on. And now Mercury is in square to Saturn, and it's saying, okay, so how are we going to change our conceptual reality? What needs to change in our conceptual reality? What is those belief systems in our mind, in our thinking, our patterns of thinking that are holding us back? So for this new moon, we're feeling, just leading up to this new moon, is Mercury in square to Saturn and the South Node and the North Node. So a T-square, a cardinal T-square, speaking to this new, now cardinal signs are the beginners. They want to start new energies and new things, but, you know, when we have that stuck physical reality that won't budge, then there's a lot of tension. Okay, and so this is what a lot of people are feeling, going in and out of these new energies represented by Uranus and Taurus and Chiron and Aries, and then going back into the past, going back into these past patterns, kind of straddling the past and the future. And you'll have some periods of time in the lighter energies where you feel a little bit more free, and then back into these obstructive energies where you feel like you're swimming through this like thick mud of the physical reality and all these encumberments. And it's really like these karmic patterns are manifesting on all levels of our life, you know, down to just the simplest activities might feel really intense right now, especially if you are one of these light worker indigo souls, crystal seeds that are doing so much work on other levels. And this reality where our consciousness is kind of confined to this reality, our waking consciousness, and feeling so kind of not supportive of the energetic work we're doing on these other levels, and unable to make, maybe that's the change in conceptual reality we need to make. And maybe that's why all this Pisces energy is involved, because we've got to make this connection to the truth of the greater whole into this narrow physical existence of materialism. And that very much fits Uranus and Taurus, because it's infusing the earth with this new vibrational frequency. Uranus brings an energy of connecting to our highest self, to a higher part of us that knows a little bit more about this, what the heck we're doing here, right? But so we're kind of going back and forth between this feeling of connection, a feeling of a wider perspective, feeling of that shift, and then back into the lower energies and the karma and the restrictions and the mess, you know? And so that's what's going on with this new moon. You know, that energy of Mercury square the nodes completes the day before this new moon, and as well as Mars square Neptune that we've been feeling for the last week or so. That leads right up to this new moon. And so this new moon is a break. It's kind of like, okay, done with the old stories, because Mars and Gemini, you know, Mercury's the ruler of Gemini. It's about that conceptual thinking, and Mars says, let's go. What's the problem? Let's move into it, right? Let's make some stuff happen. Let's get down to work. Let's get on with it. So much impatience, especially with Mercury and Venus still in Aries. And so Mars is very activated right now, but it's in square to Neptune, been in square to Neptune. And that's tension around, you know, maybe that's that Neptune energy we're talking about, like, how do we integrate? Is the change of perspective that we're required to make right now integrating the bigger piece part of ourselves into the truth of who we are in this 3D reality, right? Is it time to incarnate the bigger part of ourselves? This is kind of the deal with indigo souls and star seeds and crystal seeds, is that the energies when you came incarnated on the planet could have to do with karma with your parents, and family lineage. It could have to do with the energies on the planet. It could have to do with a multitude of things, but a lot of factors may have kept you from fully incarnating in this body. And now the energies are shifting to be able to host you in your entirety, but you don't even know that you're not here. You don't even know who you are. And so we're kind of trying to integrate the bigger part of ourselves, the wider connection to the whole, our connection to our higher self, into our conceptual daily reality. What does life look like when you live life from this place? And it takes a leap of faith. It takes a commitment deep inside of yourself to the truth of who you are, even though you don't know what that means. Faith in your higher part of yourself that got you into this mess and is going to help you get out as well, knows the pathway out. And so we're being asked with this new moon in Taurus to say yes within our being to this new energies, to this new chapter. And that's part of the things that are going on, because Taurus represents our self-worth, our inner resources. Do we deserve? And so we're making a commitment now, and it's difficult because it's like we only have a little bit of a sense of these new energies. And with all this Neptune energy and Mercury Neptune energy and Mercury Pisces energy, we're confused about who we are and where we're going. And so we don't know who we are, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what we want, and yet we're being asked to say yes and inside of ourselves and take that leap. And that's a big issue that's been going on for the last year or two for a lot of these souls. It's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of sense that there's a new chapter, a new energy, but the old patterns feel like security. You know, they feel like they're holding me, even though they're unhealthy, right? And so we have to like reset our vibration. This is going to be a big kind of focus of this activation for this new moon in Taurus, is just allowing ourselves to surrender to these new energies, to reset to these new energies, and to step into this internal commitment to the unknown, this leap of faith into this new next chapter that could be absolutely amazing once we allow ourselves to it's funny because it's like I want to say let these old patterns fall away, but it's actually feels like we're falling away, right? Like it's like a free fall energy when you let go and you say, hey, wait, what if that's not how it is anymore? You know, I'm bracing myself for the way things always end up in my life, right? These old patterns, and I'm bracing myself for whatever your greatest fears are, betrayal or failure or, you know, poverty, whatever's going on, you know, and it's like, well, this is just the way it is. And when we're so in that traumatized state, you know, we can't allow the shift and change into these new energies. And that's, of course, why we've had to spend such an extended period of time working with these Pisces energies to be able to reprogram these old patterns and recognize the delusions and recognize the programming and recognize where we may have been misled by where we, you know, to the energies that we gave our power away to in the past, which is represented by that Capricorn energy. So the planets and the stars are aligning to support us in this really potent and powerful time and to prepare us for this incredible 2020 energy, right? So Saturn in conjunction with the South Node, and Saturn coming into its closest conjunction with Pluto until the end of the year is saying it's time, it's starting, it's beginning, it's the time, it's now, the time is now. Come present, come to the earth, come to your consciousness, be aware, cleanse yourself of distractions, because it's time to get your hands dirty, you know, like get in the garden, get in the ground, get to work, feel this new chapter and these new energies begin to work in your life and take that leap of faith. So I hope you can consider joining me for a live activation to reset to these new energies, connect with our soul group, and clear any karma energies that are coming up. And that will be on Friday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. That's exactly 24 hours before the actual new moon. So I hope you can join me as we lead into these new energies, and we can do it together and be ready to make this commitment, feeling the support of our soul group as we move over this threshold together. So the information to sign up for this live activation is below. It's $10. If you can't make the live, you can always catch it on the replay. Your intention to join answers your questions, gets the words out there in the way that you can receive them in this channeled way of presentation that comes through the activation. So just know that you can sign up and catch the replay whenever you can. And get in on this energy, even if you can't make it live. So I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.